Welcome. I'm Paula Greenwood. I'll be your service leader today. I want to welcome everybody, any first-time visitors. Welcome, and I hope you will all stay for refreshments and talk after the service. The refreshments are usually pretty good, and the talk varies a lot, and it gives you time to talk to each other and our speaker, Shey Khandro. So welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Rappahannock. You got it? Yeah, thanks. We light this chalice for the light of truth, the warmth of love, and the energy of action. Our opening words are quotes from this giant book I have. Women's Wit and Wisdom. There's no parallel for men, so you know what that means. Age does not protect you from love, but love, to some extent, protects you from age. That's from Jean Moreau, a French actress. My second giant quote is, "The ultimate lesson all of us have to learn is unconditional love, which includes not only others, but ourselves as well." And that's from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Would like now to introduce our speaker, Shey Khandro. Shey is a teacher, speaker, and thought leader in mindfulness and heart-centered leadership. A former Buddhist nun and sacred artist, she blends ancient wisdom with modern insight to guide others into presence, purpose, and compassionate action. Her work inspires personal transformation and conscious leadership rooted in love. She will speak to us today on leading with love. One thought, one choice, one moment at a time. Shey.
Thank you. So this reading today is from the book Leading with Love, Learning to Lead Like Jesus. Love is indispensable to the leader. No one can lead people effectively without love. Love is the leadership virtue that gives credibility to all others. To love people is to patiently bear with their faults and idiosyncrasies, to be kind when they are unkind, and to refuse to be irritated or resentful when they fail to meet our expectations. And on the transformational power of love, this author shares, a loving leader inspires people to follow, to listen, to grow, and to give their best. Love draws out the highest potential in others. May we each walk these words in our own lives. I took my vows when I was 30 years old. I shaved my head and I stepped into the burgundy robes of a Buddhist nun. At 45, it was time to retire my robes after 15 years of study and practice and a deep immersion in a spiritual community. I definitely had some adjustments to make. At that point, what would my life be like? What would I wear? Who would I spend time with? What would my schedule look like in this new normal that I was about to embark on? What would I do with my hair? It was every 2 weeks we would just cut it off, and then suddenly there was a whole new batch of things to consider. But what was most striking was not all these sort of logistical details about my life. It was really the contrast that I experienced as I stepped outside of the temple walls. Life in my spiritual community was very different than the life as a lay practitioner. In fact, within the community, with my brother monks and my sister nuns, there was a special commitment that we had all made. It was a culture that we had created. And while we were deeply human, all of us, we were perfectly imperfect, as one might say. But there was a deep commitment that we shared to maintain a consistent practice, to look within, to take responsibility for who we were being in the world. Even when tensions would flare, when there would be, well, you know how it goes. And, we still shared a consistent commitment to return again and again, to seek to understand each other, to cultivate compassion, authenticity, and humility as we walked our path. We had a commitment that we would choose love no matter what. And if we found ourselves in a place where we didn't choose love, we would circle back and we would revisit what was happening and we would try again. And there was this grace that was built in to our commitment to one another. Outside the temple walls, outside of that shared intention, that agreement was not always there. People didn't always speak their truth. People didn't always hold space for our shared humanity. The default was not always kindness or a compassionate response. It was sobering, and sometimes it was painful. But there was a gift. These conditions became one of my greatest teachers. Because I realized that if I wanted to live as love, with love as the foundation of my being, I couldn't wait for the world to make it easy for me. I had to choose it myself again and again and again. And in those moments, there's an opportunity for a powerful shift to take place. One thought, one breath, one choice at a time. In the years since leaving the monastery, I came to see that to lead with love was not about waiting for the circumstances to be aligned or just right. It was about remembering that the conditions are already within us. They are already within me. They're already within each of us. The kindness, the presence, the steady care. It wasn't just something, it's something that naturally abides in all of us. The invitation is to recognize that in myself and in those around me. To touch these things, to cultivate them, to let them shine out. So this journey has been about one of walking with these ideas, and one that Spirit, in her gentle way, continues to invite me to take deeper. I can't wait for the circumstances to be perfectly aligned. I have to turn within and begin there. And today I have come to share with you a recent reflection. A moment where I found myself guided inward. I was invited to sit with a question, not from my intellect, but a question that arose from the temple of my heart. As I listened, there were 3 questions. I stayed present for 3 responses. The first 2 questions came to me as though asked of me by Spirit. The third question was one that I offered in return. And what I received was not planned, and it was not polished. It flowed through me like a kind of remembering. And I want to share it with you now as an offering. And I share it as a mirror where you may see yourself in these words. An invitation for each of us to turn inward. These words arrived as a gift for me and possibly for you. I heard the question, who am I? In that moment, I picked up my pen and I began to write. Who am I? I am goddess extraordinaire, flowing expression of the divine, alive, living on earth in human form as a vehicle of transformation at a time of great change, rising, radiant keeper of light, singing songs of devotion, of possibility, of awakening, sky dancer, in form, but not of this world of perception and duality, free of constriction, here to dance, to sing, to weave the magic of divine light into the understanding of this time, lifting the veil, inviting joy, kindness, and compassion, here to revel in the truth of consciousness, the existence of all things beyond time and space. I am love. I am the dance of the trees. I am the movement of the water, the roots, the branches, the rocks, and the heartbeat. The pulse of creation, alive in flesh and form. Perceptions expanding, leading, teaching, learning, inviting. One of many. Knowing our oneness, shedding old story, here to walk together through the door of liberation. Happy, free from pain and fear, deep in knowing I am love, you are love. We are loved. I am human, frail, vulnerable, moving with spirit, inviting change, here to move the stagnant energy of our limited understanding, washing away the suffering born of ignorance, clearing, cleaning, soothing the balm with loving kindness and compassion, coming alive for the benefit of all. Happy, free, loved. I am steward. I am guide. I am student. I am teacher, knower, and one yet to know. I could feel the aliveness flowing through my body as these words poured onto the page. A fiery kind of purposefulness, an invitation. And in the silence of the pause, another question arose. What is my heart's greatest desire? Ah, my heart's greatest desire is to live my Bodhi vow as fully as possible, to meet suffering with compassion, to walk each other home, to know the oneness of divine love, expressed through forms, expressing or appearing as separate. And in that knowing, to see myself and to see myself. What is my greatest desire? To walk softly on this earth with deep and mighty love in my being, to serve, to inspire, to light the way, that we may each know the truth of our collective interconnectedness, our interdependence, the divine expression of consciousness that lives within each of us, as us, our wholeness, infinite in possibility. What is my heart's greatest desire? To awaken, to invite others to know their beauty as it is known by the divine, to live authentically in integrity, generous of spirit and form, awake, seeing clearly the beauty and light in all things, knowing myself as myself, free from the pain of ignorance, walking the path with others as we each share the wisdom that makes up the whole, honoring each other as myself, as myself. As we walk each other through the door of liberation, we are not separate. The birth of holy understanding, awakening to the truth that all may be free, free of pain, free of fear, free of the suffering of not love. May I know in my bones, if it is not love, it is a call for love. And may I respond as the great awakened ones have from time out of mind. I breathe, quaking. I ask a question of my own. How can I be of the very highest service in this life? It was then that I could feel them gathering around me. The great Tibetan masters at whose feet I had sat, drinking deeply of the wisdom they shared with generosity and great care. Jesus was there, teacher of kindness and deep compassion. Saint Germain, Mother Teresa, and many more, teachers whose wisdom I have relied on for lifetimes. They appeared, surrounding me with light, and they answered as though in a single voice. Be you, they said. Stand tall. Love and care for your physical form, for your heart, for your dreams of service. Shine your light. Share your understandings, your perspectives, what you have come to know, and your questions. Share your strengths and your fears. Allow your heart to stand open. Listen deeply. Seek to understand. Sit in silence. Be present for the truth, the joy, and the suffering of others. Dance. Sing. Play your drums. Laugh. Make music, write stories, and share them with others. Build your institute, to house the teachings and stories echoing in your bones. Allow your vulnerability. You know there is strength there. Rest, sweet Shey. Sit by the river. Dance among the trees. Pause to know the beauty around you. Love your mother and your sister while they are here with you. They need your presence just as you need theirs. Let them love you. They are part of the sacred unfolding, your embodiment of love. Let go of old stories. Own the power and beauty that is you, not for show, but as a sacred acknowledgement of life. You are here to love. Let them all see this part of you. Let yourself know love. Appreciate and celebrate all of you. You are light, you are human, all is in fine order. Play, precious one. It is here you will know truth. Throw open the doors of divine knowing. You are artist. Create. Create a world bathed in love and light, in compassionate intention. Speak the words, move the energy. Meet others in their heart space, regardless of what you find there. If it is not love, it is a call for love. We are here to love ourselves and our world into wholeness. I offer these words not as proclamations, but as reflections, as though I'm holding a mirror to myself, to you. I invite you to listen, not to know me in these words, but to know you, your own deep truth, echoing through mine. Let's take a few moments now to sit together in quiet presence and just simply feel. Taking a moment to be present, to breathe, to be still, to listen. Not for more words, but for what echoes within. Allow your breath to guide you inward. Let your heart feel what it needs to feel. May we sit together in this quiet presence and simply let it all land. And as I close, I offer a prayer, a blessing. Beloved presence, guide me. after a lifetime of devotion, I arrive as someone not who knows it all, but as someone willing to walk the path anew. May I remember my worth, not to prove, but to honor. May I meet others in the tender places where they forget their beauty. In walking them home, may I walk myself home again and again. Give me the courage to stand tall, to claim my voice, to let joy rise and connection deepen. And when the energy stirs, may I rise to meet my dreams. Help me embrace who I truly am, not the image I've tried to perfect, but the soul I came here to express. May I be seen, not for attention, but as a sacred act of honoring my truth. And when I wobble, when old patterns call me back into hiding, may I meet those moments with kindness and renewed devotion. I have the tools. I have the knowing. I hold the sacred promise to myself, to those I serve, and to the field of love we are here to tend. And when I remember this, I stand taller. I lead with heart. I come home to myself again. And so it is. If these words have stirred something in you, if you have felt a soft remembering or a call to listen more deeply to the wisdom within, I welcome you to stay connected. This is the work of my heart. I walk the path alongside others who are listening for love too. You can always find me at Shey Global, where I offer meditations and reflections and retreats, ways for us to journey together. But more than anything, I invite you to keep listening. Because one thought, one breath, one choice at a time, we become the path to wholeness. In the words of Ram Dass, we are all just walking each other home. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shalom.